Yeah, I'm live, baby. I'm live. Hold on, y'all. Give me a second. We finna start. Make sure this ain't here. All right. Who information I'm stealing, Sean? Where you going? Yeah, give me a second. I can't even get back. Be in control. Hold on, yeah. Oh, I'm sharing my. Okay, I'm good. What the heck is you talking about, man? Of the African world. Look upon the mark we are ready to listen again. It might not be ready then. Let's watch the weather. We are ready. It's go outside to listen. You ready, baby? Let's go.
All right. Welcome back to the Monster Warrior Clan YouTube channel. I am your brother, Kofi Paisai. Y'all give me 1 second. Let me let Sutek already in here, okay. Y'all help me share the show too, man, if y'all don't mind. Never mind, Sean already shared it, which, you know, y'all continue to share the show. I got first let me say ETM Hotel, Dua Aku, Dua Necha, Fatmo Walafiye, Fatmo Iwa Pele, Majuba Iba Ii Gungun, Majuba Iba Ii Gungun, Majuba Iba Ii Lakba, Majuba Iba Ii Lakba, Fatmo Iwa Riwi, Fatmo Iwa Pele. I always want to give honor and praises to the ancestors, because without the ancestors, we wouldn't be here. We are our ancestors. Also want to give honor and praises to the true and living elders out there. They know who they are according to my perspective, or according to my ancestors and my African perspective on what a true elder is. I got brother Vasa Nicolo Gullah on the panel. I got brother Sutek on the panel. Y'all got anything, man, any words or anything before we get started? Hello, Gullah on the panel.
Man, just peace to the panel, peace to the chat. Ready to get into this presentation. I'm interested in learning more about the Bamana people.
You got anything, boss?
Just peace to everybody. Again, like and share the show. Get your notebooks ready. I'm sorry, y'all. Sitting over here, still typing. But yeah, like and share the show.
All right. Well, let's get into it, man. Y'all gonna have to excuse me too. I'm sniffing. Peace to the chat too. Folk Black Righteousness Folks Home say I'm sniffing like Umar. But peace to everybody that's in the chat. Enigma 9x9. Brother Any Red Sean Calfun, I don't know where he is. He's supposed to be on the panel. Lisa Darcy. Peace, folk Black Righteousness Folks Home. Peace to my good brother Ibibo. And again, peace to everybody that may be coming in a little bit, falling in a little late. Peace to those that may be watching this later on in the archives. But with no further ado, we're gonna go ahead and get into this presentation. If I can now change the okay, there we go. Again, the name of this presentation is the Bamana, or the Babara people and their secret society. So today we're going to talk about, we're going to walk through a little bit of the culture. We're not going to walk through a whole lot of the culture and tradition of the Bambara people, or the Bambana people. We're gonna walk through a little bit of it, and we're gonna walk through a little bit of their secret societies. I can do 3 or 4 presentations alone just on their secret societies, but we're just going to touch on their secret societies just a little bit. I may touch a little bit more on one specifically, the Joel Society. We'll get into that a little bit later on in the presentation, and we'll touch on the culture and their traditions a little bit. But let's get into it. Before I get started, I always have to put a disclaimer out there before I get started. My disclaimer is I am not a teacher, but merely a student sharing information, and that information provided is for the educational purpose only. And if you are in doubt, do the research and have it verified by someone qualified. I reserve the right to change the focus of this presentation, to shut down, sell, or exchange the terms or use at my own discretion. Our trademark, design rights, copyrights, registered names, mottos, logos, avatars, or sigmas, or marks used or cited by this website are the property of their respective owners. I reserve the right to add information as it comes available, or adapt changes, improve information as it comes available in the future. Inputs wanted, changes, additions, deletions are encouraged. I always have to put a disclaimer out there before I get started. This is my saying as I learn. We all learn. I believe this is a powerful saying. As we learn things, I think we should share that information or pass that information along to the family, especially if it's for our benefit or our gain. My other saying, let's get this culture. Again, we are on attack. Our culture, our tradition has been under attack. It has been muted for centuries. So let's get this culture. Again, excuse me for the sniffing. I'm a little bit under the weather, but I'm gonna bear through it. All right. The Bambara, Bana, Bamana, or the Bamana are ancient artistics, agriculturalists, and Mandi-speaking people living in West Africa, primarily in Mali, but also in Guyana, Burkina Faso, and Senegal. They are considered to be among the largest Mandi ethnic groups and are dominated Mandi groups in Mali, with 80% of the population speaking of the Bambara language, regardless of ethnicity. So the Bambara or the Bana people, they're not only in Mali, but they are in Guyana, Burkina Faso, and Senegal. I may come back sometime in the near future, and we may discuss a little bit more with the Bambara or the Bana people, them being in Guyana, Burkina Faso, and Senegal, and them migrating and going into Mali and etc. And according to the Encyclopedia of Africa, the Bambara means unbelievers or infidels. The group acquired the name because of the resistance Islam after the religion was introduced in 1854 by Tukule conqueror El Hajj Tao. And we'll talk a little bit later on about that when we get maybe a few slides down. We'll talk about the Bambara Empire. We'll talk about that, and the capital Sagoo. We'll talk about that throughout the presentation. But the Bambara, this is what this unbelievers, or anyone that does not believe in Islam is considered to be an infidel. Anyone that does not believe in Christianity is considered a pagan or heathen or etc. So these are the types of names that these religions give us, especially when we don't confine or believe or convert into these particular religions. So, but we'll talk a little bit further as we get along in the presentation on how the Muslims came into Mali and dominated Mali and conquered the Bambara Empire and tried to convert them into Islam. But these Bamana, or the Bambara people, resisted Islam and fought and would not convert into Islam until way later. Now, 1 minute and 25 seconds of Amir Dynasty channel, search for Yahuru. The tour guide tells Amir what the Bambara means. So I put that in there, and I went on and threw this in quick too, just validate what I was saying. I actually, with this morning, wanted to try to find something on the Bambara people, or maybe throw a little video in here with somebody maybe discussing, or someone in the someone from the Bambara tribe in Mali may be talking a little bit about it. And I ran across two Amir Dynast videos off of his channel from 2016 when he visited Mali, the Bambara tribe. And there's two different videos where he went here, and on this video we just gonna just validate what I was saying about what the Bambara mean, and them actually was resisting Islam when Islam first came into the Bambara Empire, came into Mali. They resisted for so long, so this is how they got the name. So I just wanted to show you actually Bambara people who was actually a tour guide for Amir Dynasty, and he is walking them through certain areas, and they're actually on this video, they're actually talking about shea butter, which I may be doing a presentation on shea butter, because some of the things that they talk about in this video was pretty interesting to me. And shea butter is a high commodity here in the United States today, using shea butter for a lot of different things. So just some of the things that the tour guide was talking about, and what else shea butter is used for, and how healthy shea butter are for using it on your skin, your hair, which a lot of people already do. That a lot of people already use that in a lot of their different natural natural hair grease, or natural beard groom, lotions, and etc. that you can use shea butter for. But if this actually this video was pretty interesting, so I looked at the whole thing where they talked about shea butter. But as I was looking, I heard him validate exactly what I was saying about them. So I just wanted to play the lit clip 1 minute. I think let me go to where it was, so you can actually see him for himself.
About 90 kilometers from Tyi-Wara. Okay. Bambara people, Bamana means somebody who refuses Bamana.
You hear him?
Okay.
Just go back. Go back.
Okay. So this part of Mali, where most of the cereals and cotton are from. Okay. Yeah. So the Bambara people, Bamana means somebody who refuses Bamana. Who refuses. So it's from like when those people, the Almoravids and those who brought the Muslim religion. Okay, they refused it. Yeah, exactly. They tried to impose people to be a Muslim. Right. And the group of the Bambara people were not agree. And they said, we are not going to be Muslim by force. Okay. So it's that when they have this name of Bamana. Okay. Somebody who refused. Okay.
I'm not gonna play the whole thing, but you can hear that from one of the Bamana or the Bambara tour guide. He actually giving you or explaining to Amir Dynasty exactly what the meaning of it, actually what Bamana or Bambara,
traditional Bambara village,
actually mean, and how they fought against Islam when Islam first got there. They resisted. They did not want to convert. But now in Mali, you can see a lot of people in Mali actually did convert, and Islam is dominant in Mali now. But let's get back into it. Across the borders of the Mauritania, there are about 2,000 Bambara living near a town of Bambara. The Bambara living in the middle valley of the Niger River. The Bambara people are famous ancient people that formed a great pre-colony Bambara kingdom in a short-lived Karata kingdom. You can see here Mali and the Bambara or the Bambana people dominated this area. But again, they are not only come out of Mali, but they are in Burkina, they're in Burkina Faso, and they are also in Senegal up here, but they are dominant in Mali. This here is the grave of Benton Mamara Kalabala from 1712 to 1715 near Sagou, Mali. Now this Benton or Fahma, Fahma means king, but they use the title as Benton. In another video, you go to search for Yahuru, Amir Dynasty. Hold on one second. Let me see if okay, he got in with no problem. Amir Dynasty on another video where he goes to see the king of Sagu in Mali. And they are talking, and another tour guide is actually telling him about the kingdom of the Bambara, and he's talking about the king, the Fahma. Fahma means king, but this particular guy used Benton Mamara Kalabali, and I may be pronouncing his name wrong, but there was a small kingdom in Mali, the Bambara Empire, but after this particular king died, he did not leave some type of template. Some say he did set up some type of guides, rules, and etc. So this particular small kingdom that had it fell, and then later on when Mamara he came in, he actually joined one of the tons, and we'll talk about what a ton is in a few minutes. And then the armory became one of his personal armies, and they set siege to fight off against different chieftains in different particular areas where they began to conquer. And then he took over Sagu. He took over Sagu and made Sagu the capital of the Bambara Empire. And a lot of people didn't like the way that Mamara Kalambali ruled in Sagu, so a lot of people left and migrated and created their own empire in Qatar, which Qatar didn't live long. Later on, one of the Arabs, or one of the Muslims came in, and they conquered that area. But they also eventually, after Benton's rule, after he ruled for a particular time, his two sons ruled, the Islam came in and defeated the Bambara people at this particular time and began to take it over. That's why you see Islam is very dominant in Mali today. But this is the grave site of the king of the big empire who made Sagu the capital. Now, if I can go to the next slide. Okay. All right. Origins of the Bambana or the Bambara. The Bambana originated as a section of the Mandike people and the founders of the Mali Empire in the 13th century. So they originated from the Mandi or the Mandinka people, the founders of the Mali Empire. So there are different ethnic groups, the Bambana and the Bambara. Both parts of the Mandi ethnic group, whose earliest known history can be traced back to the site near Tichum, now subsumed by the Sahara in southern Mauritania, where the urban centers began to emerge by early as the 2500 BC. And I mean, by 250 BC, a Mandi subgroup, the Bozos, found the city of the Jinn. Between 300 AD and 1100 AD, the Sanike Mandi dominated the Western Sudan, leading the Ghana Empire. Now, patrilineal. I'm gonna be throwing out a lot of different terms throughout this presentation as well, and I'm doing this for a reason as well. Patrilineal. Patrilineal relates to based on tracing descendants through the paternal line. Related to a base of relationships to fathers or descent through the male line. Patriarchal relates to the denoting of a system of society of government controlled by men. Patriarchal system is one ran by men. Now, the Bamana shares many aspects as broader Mandi social structure. Society as patrilineal or patriarchal through the virtue of no woman wears a veil. Mandi cultures is known for its strong fraternal orders and sororities, tons, which when the first, the king who started the big empire, again, the Bambara people had a small empire in the beginning, but it fell after the first king, the first Fatma. And then later on, you had Kalimbali, who came into Mali, joined one of the tons, which we'll get into what a ton is, and made the army, or joined the army, their army. Uh, they set siege on a lot of things. The army became one of his personal armies. He gained control over a lot of different territories, and he took over Sagu and made Sagu one of the Bambaras, made Sagu the capital of the Bambara Empire. And the history of the Bambara Empire strengthened and preserved these orders. The first state was born to refashion the hunting and the Utahs into warrior castes. And conquest of their neighbors were successful. The state created the Jonton. John equals slaves, Kalgil/slaves or slave warrior class, replenishing by warrior captures in battle. While slaves was excluded from inheritance, the Jonton leaders forged a strong corporate identity and corporate identity. Now, so the Bambara Empire was a patrilineal or patriotic society. African ethnic groups, a lot of African societies are not this patriarchal. You have a lot of societies that are matrilineal, matriarch societies as well. So it just all depends on what ethnic group that you belong to. So don't think that every African tribe, African clan, or society is a patriotic society. I gave you a whole presentation on Bugano Basson on a particular group that is escaping my mind now that was ran by women. It was a matriarchic society. So again, every group in Africa is not a patriotic society. You have matriotic societies as well. In addition to these, Bambana maintain internal castes like other Mandi people, the Yame Kala workers with griots, historians, praise singers, priests, metal workers, and other special vocations remaining endogamous and living in a designated area. Formerly, like most other African societies, they also held slaves, Jono Jogo, often war prisoners from land surrounding the territory. I'm gonna stop right there before I go on. It says that they own slaves or they own prisoners, which were prisoners of war. Again, we know we fought with our own, and we do that today. We fight with our mother, we fight with our father, we fight with our brothers, we fight with our sisters, we fight with our cousins, we fight with our neighbors next door to us, right down the street. So we fight with family and we fight with friends. So, and and again here, they did the same thing. We're not gonna sensationalize Africa and think that it was this great utopia where everybody got along with each other. That is false and that is incorrect. So, and again, and a lot of people, especially, I can't really speak for I can't speak for the Bambana group in particular. Now they did the same thing as a lot of them did in Central Africa. A lot of prisoners of war was able to roam around freely. Even when we fought against each other and you became a prisoner of war, you was able to work, you was able to roam freely, you was able to marry within marry a woman within our society. You was able to own land and a house and etc. So again, it is not the same construct as what the European did to us, where we worked for free labor. They beat us, fed us slop, gave us their language, converted us into their culture and their traditions and their way of life. Hold on, y'all. This darn thing here. All right. Just wanted to touch on that briefly because I know when we hear the word slave a whole lot, we just lose our mind. Am I still clear to y'all out there? Before I go any further, I want to make sure that I'm clear out this. What do you want? What are you doing?
You sound good, man.
All right. Within time, the collapse of the Bambara state, these caste differences have eroded through vocations having strong families and ethnic correlations. The tongue. Let's get into what the tongue. I know y'all heard me mention the tongue on the last slide, and a slide that Kalambali, who made the big great empire of Bamana people and made Sagu the capital of his empire. He came and he joined the Tun. So let's see what a Tun is. The Bamana have continued in many places their traditions and castes in the age group inauguration societies known as Tuns. While it is common to most Mandi societies, the Tun traditions is especially strong in the Bamana history. Tuns can be by sex, initiation rites for young men and women. Age, the early young men Sole Tun living separately from the community and providing farm labor prior to taking wives or vacations. The forming Tyi-Wara Tuns are the hunters, Doze Tun. So the Tuns are different castes. We know that African cultures, you know, even here we have different castes. We have upper, the upper class, the middle class, and the lower class. You know, in African culture, they have different classes, different castes. You may have, particularly the blacksmith, may live, may live somewhere else. You may have the goldsmith, this is another class that may live somewhere. The priest is another caste. The farmer may be another caste. The agriculture may be another class. They may be set up in these different castes. The griot is another class who is a historian, a storyteller, a musician, and etc. This is another class. So they may live amongst each other just according to what type of skill set or what type of thing that they may bring to the society. The religion or the way of life or the traditions of the Bambara people. The Bambara high god is conceived as a grain from which three or other divine persons are finally. The whole of creations are born. The Bambara theology and religions are complex. Deep religions speculate exists among the Bambara sage and are transmitted orally without codification. The Bambara believe in one God, Bimba, not Allah, the merciful one. It says Bima or Ingala or Ingala. Now I'm saying that because again, Islam has taken over Mali. A lot of those ethnic groups in Mali today actually are practitioners of Islam.
Kofi,
And again, they are. Go ahead.
I need you to repeat that for me one more time. I need you to repeat the name of the god.
Bimba or Ingala.
Not who?
Not Allah.
Thank you.
Who is the creator of all things and has in a way created himself as the quarantine. The quarantine consists of Bima himself, Musu Korini Koda or Iyala, Farah or Ido Madari. The last three corresponds to the four elements, air, fire, water, and earth. Before the creations, Bimba was named Koni and was in sense thought Murray, dwelling in a void. He is also the void itself. So we hear this a lot. Void coming out of the void, them being the void themselves. Lenkoli, accordingly, he cannot be perceived by humans using their usable sense. His existence is manifest as a force, a whirlwind, thought, or vibration that contains the
Whoa,
sign
whoa,
of
whoa,
all.
whoa, 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 whoa. Time out. I want you to go back to what this force, as they call it, a force, of nature, what this God represents again, because I think that this makes a point to the cultural understanding of the African mind. So this thought process on if we're talking about creation, we're talking about how things evolve. We're talking about the manifestations of how we view nature, us as Homo sapiens sapiens, the earliest Africans on the continent. Our view, our vantage point, and our perspective. Can you please tell me what this God represents one more time?
His existence is manifested as a force, a whirlwind, thought, or vibration that contains the sign of all uncreated things.
Thank you, sir.
No problem. Extended family. An extended family is a family that extends beyond the nuclear family, consisting of parents like fathers, mothers, and their children, aunts, uncles, grandparents, and cousins, all living in the same household. Immediate family, a person, parent, brothers or sister, husbands, wives, and children. Just throwing these working definitions out there, not trying to insult anyone's intelligence. We just want to give a working definition because we have immediate families and we have extended families. And in African culture, you see this a lot. This is why you will see 10 to 100 to 200 some people living in one household. Family structures, kinships, and marriage family structures. The Bambara people trace their heritage through paternal descent. Patriarchal extended families act as a political structure in the Bambara culture. These extended families group can comprise between 100 to 1,000 members. Young men positioning in their initiation groups plays a significant role in the positions within the village in the future. And again, this is why you can see from 1 to 100 members. You know, you have your immediate family, then you have your extended family, which may be your cousins, your aunts, your nephews, your grandmother, your grandfather, your sister, your brother, and etc. For the most part, each extended family groups makes up its own village. These villages consist of many different households or jiwa. Members of each household work collectively to provide for everyone who lives there. Homes within the village are usually bigger than those in other African societies, often comprised of up to 60 or more family members. Each village or extended family is known by its symbol, usually by an animal. There is a great deal of loyalty among villages of the Bambara. The eldest male in the family is respected as the village chief. With When a chief passes away, the authority is passed down to the oldest living male. And again, this is because they are a patriotic society. So the oldest male in the village is considered the chief. And when that one passes, the next oldest male in the village becomes the chief of the village. Engaged, involved in activities, occupied, busy, pledged to be married, betrothed, greatly interest, committed. I threw this definition out here really for a reason, because when I get to the next slide, again, when we look at the word engaged, you know what I'm saying? And then when we see the age, I'll get to the slide, but again, let me just read this again. Engaged involves in activities, occupied or busy, pledged to be married, which is what we're going to use, betrothed, greatly interest, which we're going to use, or committed. Remember that. Now, marriage customs. This is marriage customs according to the Bambara people. Bambara females are usually engaged between the age of 4 and 10. It says that the Bambara females are usually engaged between the age of 4 and 10. It says engaged between the ages of 4 and 10. We know with a lot of different ethnic groups that it is an arranged marriage. And in the Bambara society, um, the elder male, the parent, the father, he arranges his daughter to be married to someone else, sometimes in the village or in their society, or someone outside of their society or ethnic group, which the Bambara practices. So again, being engaged does not mean that someone, or just because they are arranged to be married and engaged, does not mean that they're being married at the age of 4 and 10. Let's go back here again. It says pledged to be married. It says greatly interested and committed. These people are committed to marry someone else down, committed later on in life. They already have their marriage arranged to who they're going to be married to. So it does not mean that these women are getting married at the age of 4 or 10. They just being engaged between the ages of 4 and 10. I really wanted to throw that out there because I know people will be talking about, oh man, look at this. They're being married. No, someone is interested in them at the age of 4 and 10. They are arranged to be married at a later date. The parents, according to their society, the father sets up who the female should be married to, arranges for who she should be married to later on down the line. It is very usual for girls between the age of 12. It is very unusual, for girls between the age of 12 to 16 to still be unsure to whom they are going to marry, rather than focus on looks. Now, and I love this here. Y'all. Rather than focus on looks, Bambara males look for hardworking women who cook well and are productive. The Bambara males look for, rather than focus on looks, the Bambara male looks for hardworking women who cooks well and are productive. So they not only, and you know, and I know with us, we particularly look at we particularly look at looks. You know, I like a good looking woman too, but I know particularly we'll look at a woman, man, she's a dime, I got to have her. As soon as you get this dime or whoever you get, and you're basing you're wanting this female off of just the looks. So we gravitate towards the look, but you know, and a lot of times we gravitate toward these dimes or whatever. You may say, man, she's a bad one, she's a, you know, she's a looker, whatever the case may be. We're just basing the criteria off of the looks. We're not basing the criteria off if she's a caring person, if she's a loving person, if she's a productive person, if she's a compassionate person, if she's a giving person, or etc. We don't know none of these things. We're basing everything off of the look, so they don't focus on just the looks. You know, they focus on all the other things. That she's a hardworking, you know, if she's hardworking, you know what I'm saying? So they looking at they looking at a woman who is trying to have something, don't mind getting out and doing something in order to have something without just having her hand out all the time. Someone who is hardworking, someone who is productive. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, I reread that because I kind of like that, because I know we focus more on the dime pieces. You know, we want a dime. You know, we don't care about what she looked like in the inside. We want the dime. We want the good looking woman. And once we get that good looking woman, you know what I'm saying? You know, she may be good, and then she may be the worst thing that ever that you ever came across of. You know. But anyway, high marriage costs are viewed as investments. Marriage is a means for having children. And again, marriage is a means for having children. That's why I say one of the most important rights and African rights are the marriage rights. You know what I'm saying? The marriage rights, you cannot talk about family or children without marriage. Marriage and procreation go hands in hand. So if you're talking about procreation, you're talking about marriage. So a lot of ethnic groups, and there are some that don't, but majority of the ethnic groups, again, there are 33,000 ethnic groups in Africa, 33,000 ethnic groups in Africa. And some other groups, you know, very few, but most of them, you have to be married in order to reproduce. So reproducing or having a family and marriage. So when you're talking about procreating, you're talking about marriage. When you talk about marriage, you talk about procreation. And marriage is a means of having children, which in turns will increase the workforce and reinforce the family's name. It says, which will turn will increase the workforce and reinforce the family's name. So the more people also that you have, it can also create a better economics for you. This is another reason why you look at a lot of different African culture and other cultures, not even just African culture, that believe in polygamy. You know what I'm saying? The more wives and the more children that they have, they look at it as an aspect of economics. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's gaining something. Everybody acquiring things. You know what I'm saying? Through marriage and children. The more minds, the more hands you have, the more things you can do, the more money you can have, the more things you can acquire, uh, and etc. So they look at it as an economic thing. So it will increase the workforce and reinforce the family's names. So, you know, and just I just threw it out there too, because a lot of times when we think of polygamy, a lot of people don't want to go for that, and that's cool. But a lot of times it's used for as an economic base, or children or having a big family is utilized as some type of economic base, whatever it is that you may be trying to gain, which it may be in a sense here, it may be in a sense of more stock and cattle, you know, more sheep, you know, more grain, whatever the case may be, in order for them to consider themselves living okay or well off. The Bambara women have an average of 8 children during their lifetime. The majority of women, including the elderly, are married, as a man's status increases by having a wife. The male household head finds suitable partners and arranges the marriage for all the males within the household. This includes paying the bride slash price, as well as arranging the marriage. So, and we know in a lot of different cultures, we done talked about this a lot on the Master Warrior Clan channel, as well as Kofi Paisa TV, about um um paying, or a marriage endowment, where you are paying for someone's hands in marriage. And a lot of times it can get expensive. And a lot of the groups, they want cattle, they want cows. And a lot of these groups don't acquire a lot of cattle like that. So sometimes it can be expensive, but that's not the only thing. But particularly you will see cattle, but you will see other different things as well. A wedding dowry that the family will have to pay, a price that they will have to pay the bride's family, as well as arranging the wedding. The Bambara culture does not permit people to marry within their own lineage. Although the Bambara is patriarchal, women do keep their original lineage names after their marriage. Polygamy is common among the Bambara. Additionally, it is very rare for widowed women to remain alone. After their husband passes away, she is usually inherited by another male close to the family to be her husband. Desensitize, make less sensitive. Desensitize, make less sensitive. Desensitize, make less sensitive. Desensitize, make less sensitive. Desensitize, to lessen the sensitiveness of. Did I say that right? And is that a word? That's what it says. Sensitiveness of. To make indifferent, unaware, or the like, and feelings. Now, in the Bambara society, women are just seen usually wearing rags or a lion cloth around their hips, like you can see here in this picture, with their breasts exposed. The constant exposure, the Bambara believe, desensitized men from desiring women, as they are always around nearly naked women. So these guys are desensitized. These guys have discipline. So when they see a half-naked woman, they not drooling all at the mouth. They not trying to run up and holler at every woman that they see with their breasts out. They not trying to grope on the woman. They not trying to grab the woman's breast. So you know, it's a less sensitive thing. This is it's something common to them. You know what I'm saying? To see women walking around like that. So, you know, they have discipline. They don't have to go up and holler at the woman. They don't have to go up and disrespect the woman. They don't have to go up and say all type of derogatory things to this woman because this woman breast is out. These guys have some type of discipline about themselves, and a lot of us, we don't have this. When we see a tree that got some breasts on it, we going up and running up at the tree. We get married. We'll hump the tree these days, man. We have no discipline when we see our women. Um, when we see our women, I know a lot of guys, man. It don't matter what you look like. If you a woman, they running up trying to spit some game. They running up trying to say all type of provocative and nasty things to the woman just to get inside her pants. No discipline at all. But men and women are also have secret societies broken up by genders. Each society for women is originated by age as well as how far they are in the initiation process. Males in other lands have brotherhoods. Both of these types of groups are completely off limits to non-members and cannot be entered by other genders. This reminds me of an organization that I belong to, genders. The Masonic order. The Masonic order, you have Masons, and the women order, you have the Order of Eastern Stars. And there are, but you know, with the men can be a member. They cannot be a Eastern Star, but they can be a member of the Eastern Star. So a man can be in uh, in the chapter with the Eastern Stars. You know, he can hold some type of office in the Eastern Star. We also see this in the Mindi tradition when we look at the Koro society for the men, and we look at the Bondo / Sandy society, whether it's in the South or the North. The South is the Sandy people, the Sandy Society. The North is the Bondo group of the Mindi secret society. So, and the man can actually be some part of the Sandy Bondo Society as well as the woman with the Poro Society. For more information on that, you can just go to Master Warrior Clan channel, or I may be on Kofi Pie TV, maybe on both, and find that presentation, and I go into that with these secret societies. And the Babara people have a lot of secret societies, and again, I could do a whole show on the Bambara secret societies, but we only going to touch on them briefly and may go a little bit in depth with the Joel Society. But they have a lot of secret societies. But Bambara Initiation Society. Initially, the Intomo was a society for uncircumcised boys. Today, closely resembles various Western associations and its bureaucratic structure and its administrations and membership fees. There are two main style groups in their mass. One is characterized by an oval face with 4 to 10 horns in a row on top like the cones. And I'm gonna show some of the masses in a minute. This society here, the Intomo Society. Um, the other types has a ridged nose, protruding mouth, and superstructures, vertical horns in the middle, and which are in front, and which are standing figures of an animal. The Intomo mass within mouth underscore the virtue of silence and the importance of controlling one's speech. And I find this interesting as well because we talk about the same thing uh, in masonry. You know, we talk about the virtue of silence. We talk about the first name given to a brother is caution and silence. He has to be silent and cautious at all times. We also talk about controlling one speech, you know, with the constructive tongue. Um, but during the time of Intomo, the boys learn to accept discipline. They do not yet have access to the secret knowledge related to the core and other initiation societies. Here is one of the mass of the Itomo. You can see the thin lips that they talk about, the controlling of the speech. Here is another one, mass here. Here is another mass of the Itomo here. You can see here The same thing with the different horns in the middle of the mask. And here you can see they have theirs decorated with coral shells. You know, we use beads and coral shells in African culture to decorate everything, you know, from shoes, clothes, shirts, pants, mask, hat, uh, neckwear, you know, far as jewelry, etc. And I said coral shells and beads, not crystals and stones. You know, and I'm not taking a shot. I know every time I do that, I hope people don't think I'm taking a shot, but I just want to keep driving and keep reiterating that, you know, we use coral shells and beads, coral shells and beads. The Bambara Intomo masqueraders. And you can see here is one of the masqueraders here of the Nitomo society. He has on the full mask with the horns in the middle, and the decoration look like coral shells on. So this is one of the Bamana uh, uh, men who is a part of the Intomo secret society here. He's a masquerader. The Koro society. The Koro society is perceived by the Bambara people as the father of the rain and thunder. Every 7 years, a new age set of teenagers experience a symbolic death and rebirth into the Koro society through initiation rituals. I'm going to stop right there because I find this interesting as well. Because, again, you know, it's no secret I'm a Mason, and when you get your third degree, you know, it is raising a man up from a dead level to a living perpendicular. Again, raising a man up from a dead level to a living perpendicular. So they go through one of these same sort of symbolic rituals as the Koro society goes. Someone dies and being rebirthed. Someone has died and has been reborn, and that person that being reborn, he is no longer the same person that he was following this ritual. He was no longer the same person he was yesterday. So I found this interesting as well. And we know a lot of these things, that a lot of these Masonic orders and even these sororities and fraternity, we know where they get a lot of this ritualistic stuff from. But every 7 years, a new age set of teenagers experience a symbolic death and rebirth into the core society through initiation rituals whose symbols relate to fire and masculinity. Excuse me. Masculinity. Initiation takes place in the sacred woods, whether the youth are harassed by elders and the clown-like performers cloud the Koroduga. And you can see in here, and we done talked about this, me and Sean have talked about this, Ben, we done talked about this a lot on the Mossy, even on the Kofi Pie Side TV, where when doing a lot of these different initiation ceremonies, these rites of passage, the people that are going through these rites are taken off in these into the forest, into these sacred woods, where they are excluded from society for a certain period of time. Some may be 3 weeks, some may be a year, some may be uh, a few days. It just all depends on what group you come from. Used to be way longer than that, but today they have a lot of groups have shortened up their time spans of these initiation ceremonies that they go through. You know, it's a lot of things that they have to go through, a lot of things that they have to learn, and acquire and meet suitable proficiencies in, which is interesting as well. We have to do the same thing in the organization that I have been a part of for the last 13 14 years. But we have to go through these initiatory rites, and we have to meet suitable proficiencies before we able to proceed to the next degree. And we have, in order to accomplish these things and be brought back into society and say we are who we are, we have to meet these suitable proficiencies and go through these certain learning lessons, and understand why we go through these learning lessons and acquire this certain type of knowledge and information that we have to gain. In their general forms of details, a group of core masks convey concepts such of knowledge, courage, and energy through the representations of a hyena, lion, monkey, antelope, and horses. In addition, their masks of the Nema, which protects against sorcery. So their representations, and again, a lot of these initiatory rites, you will see that a lot of these initiatories, they were masses. And even when they go through certain things, like certain ethnic groups, when you go through this, you have to learn how to sing and you have to learn how to dance. So you wear these masks, and some of these people even being brung back into society, which we talked about before. Even when you look at some of these fraternities and sororities, what they call the coming out party, where they go through these things, and then now they're telling you who they are now because they went through what they went to. They learned what they had to learn. They needed these suitable proficiencies, whether it was in the fraternity, sorority, or whether it was through one of these Masonic orders. Some of the same thing, what we call feeding the goat in the Masonic order. Now you go through these different dances and people are fellowship, and so you will see in African culture, you will see that they are coming there, they're coming out to tell you who they are. So you see a lot of the dances, and a lot of them get masks or acquire new masks. The masqueraders are dancing with their masks, they're dressed out in their whole masquerade, where they're singing and dancing. They are breaking bread with the family, breaking bread with the society. The society is proud of them for going through their initiatory rites, meeting suitable efficiencies, and coming back and saying they are who they are. So they are all celebrating amongst one another. So the representations are the different representations of the mask, and we know a lot of the masks are in forms of different animals, and I talk about that too, why animals are so important in African culture. Part 1 and part 2, you can catch part 1 on Master Warrior Clan YouTube channel, and part 2 on Kofi Paisai TV. 2 great presentations, so y'all might want to go check those presentations out as well. But we'll look at some of the masks of the Koro society. But the Koro represents the hyena, the lion, the monkey, the antelope, and the horses. In addition, there are masks of the name of, yes, I said horses. And we'll talk about the horses a little bit later because we're talking about West African culture. So a lot of people may be like, huh, where, horses, which I'll just say now, because I'm going to tell when we get to the Joel Society, we'll talk about a little bit about the horses and the Joel Society, the initiate. We'll just get into that a little bit later, but we know that the horses was brung there. We know from North Africa, horses was expedited to West Africa, as well as the Arabian Peninsula. We know that they was brung from there to West Africa, so they was imported into West Africa, from North Africa, and from the Arabia Peninsula. The Bambara Koro Society mask, the hyena. So here is a look at one of the Koro Society masks that they wear here, a hyena. And they are doing the masqueraders, they actually when they're dancing, they're actually mimicking these different animals that they have, these different animals that they wear. Again, the Koro Society, they have the hyena, the monkey, it was a bunch of them. The hyena, the monkey, the lion, the antelope, and the horses. Here was another, the Bambara Core Society mask. This is the monkey mask that they're wearing, and they're emulating the monkey as they dance in these choral societies. The Bamana Chorus Society, Choral Secret Society mask. This is the lion mask is here. So again, when they're wearing these masks, they were emulating the lion. I couldn't find the horse mask. I might want looking hard enough for it, but they also have the horse, and they have the antelope mask as well that they wear. Antelope is a very when you see the antelope a lot in African culture. the Komo society now. So now we're on the Komo society. The Komo society is the custodians of traditions, and it is concerned with all aspects of the community life: agriculture, judicial process, and the passage of right. Its masses are elongated animal forms decorated with actual horns and antelope quills and porcupine, bird skulls, and other objects. Their headdress, worn horizontal, consists of animals covered with mud and with the opening jaw. Often horns and feathers are attached. The mask dancers were, and before I get it, well, I'll go ahead and read it. The masked dancers wear the Komo mask on the top of their head. So these masks that the Komo secret society wear here, their masks, as you can see here in black and white, they have their masks is not on their face. They wear their masks on top of the head. So the Komo mask on top of their heads instead of in front of the face, and it expressed their power through exhaling columns and of embers of phosphites material. Other supernatural rituals are also practiced during their initiation with the goals of nurture balance in the community. Here is one of the headdresses here, the headdress of the Como society. It talks about the pork and the feathers, the porcupine, uh, um, things, stuff made out of mud, and etc. So here is one form of the mask here. Here's another form of the mask here. The Como helmet mask by the Bamana of the Bambara people. Koro secret society. Here is another headdress here. In mud, like they described, the mud, the porcupines, the porcupine quills, the feathers, and etc. So here is another image of the headdress here from this Como secret society here. Here is another one here where they talk about with the open jaw, but you see the porcupine quills, you see the horns, the antelope horns, you see the fur, the feathers here at the bottom, the open mouth. This is another headdress by the Como secret society here. Why my thing keep jumping off. Here is the Como secret society costume. This is the full costume here. The Como society mask used in the second of the succession initiations that includes mass dancers and sacrifice presented at the society altar. The purpose of the Como initiation is to commence the spirit of the knowledge, to reveal to the Bambara boys self-knowledge and the advancement of personal qualities. The Bamana refers to the mask as the Komo Kun, meaning head of the Komo. However, more specifics and individual names are also given to the differences, their special abilities. Now we on the Tyi-Wara society. The Tyi-Wara society members use a headdress representing in the form of an antelope, the mythical being who taught men how to form. The word Tyi means work and Wara means animal, thus working animal. There are antelopes with vertical or horizontal directions of the horns. In the past, the purpose of the Tyi-Wara association was to encourage cooperations among all members of the community to ensure a successful crop. In recent times, however, the Bambara concept of the Tyi-Wara, which means working animal, has become associated with the notion of good farming, and the Tyi-Wara masqueraders are regarded as the forming beasts. The Bambara sponsors farming contests where the Tyi-Wara masqueraders perform, always performing together in a male and female pair. The coupling of the antelope masqueraders speak of fertility and agricultural abundance. Here is one of the headdresses here, and it is a mask that is on top of the head and not worn over the face, an antelope. According to one interpretation, the male antelope represents the sun and the female, the earth. So according to the with the Tyi-Wara secret society in the Babara tribe, The antelope represents the sun. The male does, and the female antelope represents the earth. The antelope imaginary of the carved headdress was inspired by the Bambara myth that recounts the story of a mythical beast, half antelope and half man, who introduced agriculture to the Bambara people. The dance performed by the masquerades means the movements of the antelopes. Here is the Bambara Tyi-Wara crest in wood and fibers. So you can see here more of the mask here and here, one here. You can see them here, the masqueraders dressed out. And you can see the community around. So you can see someone who has made suitable proficiencies and who have went through their initiatory ceremony or ritual and now is being brought back to society, and they are dancing and they're singing, and the whole community has come out to see. Among the Bambara people, initiation associations are the focus of traditional life in terms of religion, political, social relations, and arts. And initiations during one teenager years is a necessary step toward being considered an adult. We're talking about the Joel Secret Society now. And further initiations to a higher level of knowledge and responsibility to continue throughout life. Men and women, and I can see this as well, and just relating this back to the organization or the Masonic organization that I belong to. In order to be a Mason, you have to go through the first degree, the second degree, the third degree, meet suitable proficiencies in all three in order to become a Mason. Now, to seek more higher level of knowledge, you can go through what they call these higher houses. And you can go through these higher houses on the men's side as well as the women's side to seek more knowledge or more higher knowledge. So you can go into the Royal Arts degree, you can go into the Knights Templar degree, you can go into the Shriners degree and become a sublime prince of the Royal Secret, which you get your 32nd. You don't have to have 3 degrees to become a Mason, but you can, to become a sublime prince of the Royal Secret, you have to have 32 degrees. So now you have to go from the 4th all the way up to the 32nd. This is what they say a higher level, or you acquiring another higher level of knowledge by going through these different forms of higher degrees, and then you can become a 33rd and get your 33rd here in the United States, but you can go further. I'm just saying, I'm just relating this because I'm related to the organization that I belong to, so I can see a lot of the similarities. And again, we know that a lot of these Masonic orders, as well as college fraternities and fraternities, have pulled a lot of their initiatory rites or initiatory ceremonies from these African cultures here. So men and women have their own separate associations. Although the men's societies are better known, the power of these associations is based on the ritual object that gives them the spiritual force and the solemn oath that members take upon entering the association. Joes is the name of the initiation association found among the southern Bamana. The building shown here is known as the Jong Bong, this building here. Are stored the society's sacred objects as well as sculptures, musical instruments, other props that makes the celebration of the Joe Society exciting, stimulating, and arts-filled events. So a lot of the Joe Secret Society things are stored in these types of buildings. And even after initiatory rites, these guys go out and travel, and they have certain types of things around them, certain types of instruments, musical instruments, certain types of sculptures, certain types of things that they use that they take along with them doing the things that's doing the initiation and things after the initiation. So this house, this Jong Bone, is the house that they keep all of their things in. Hold on, did I finish reading on here? Okay, yeah. Preparations for initiation into the Joe society begins in childhood. Young boys have their own association in which they learn to participate in the rituals and celebrations and to perform wearing masks like their adult counterparts. However, we see two boys modeling the clothes costumes worn during yearly celebrations of their associations until they are circumcised, which usually take place during puberty. The training continues for 6 years after this painful ordeal, during which time they learn about the Joel Society through the process of calling Niyi Yili, opening their eyes. So they go through a process for 6 years. The consist of gradual allows them to see the sacred object, place, and people associated with the Joel Society. The revelations culminates in the actual initiations called Jofaga, killing in Joel, a ritual in which candidates are symbolically killed. They are revived at the next day. After a week of recovering, they return to the village as the new Joel members. And again, it is similar to one of the other societies where you go through this symbolic death. And again, I can relate to that because again, in my Masonic order, I went through a symbolic death as well. I was raised from a dead level to a living perpendicular on the square. And I went through this symbolic death. The person that I was yesterday, I am I'm no longer am today. So I was raised from a dead level. You know, we talk about people, they're walking around, they're the walking dead. So, and again, the symbolic killing and those being raised or being revived as a new person. And certain religions they call this baptism as well when we look into Christianity the same way through baptism. So for those that may look at this kind of funny, you know what I'm saying, you do the same thing in certain types of religion when you go through the baptism. You know, you're being renewed. You're no longer you're renewing yourself. You're no longer the person you were yesterday. You no longer speak the same. You no longer think the same. You no longer have the same outlook or perspective. You have a different perspective on things. They are revived the next day, and after a week of recovering, they return to the village as the Jove member. When the new Joe members return to the village, they celebrate their successful completion in the initiatory ordeal by showing off the Joe songs and dances they have learned and the Joe's costume that they are now permitted to wear. You can see some of the initiate boys here with the nice hats with the Koro shells decorations on the hats, on their clothing, and their grass skirts that they're wearing. These are some of the music instruments that they have on. I mean, some of the instruments that they have here. All right, have learned and the Joel costumes have now permitted to wear. They spend the next several months traveling to surrounding villages to put on similar performances and display their hard-earned knowledge of Joel. For those journeys, the new initiates travel in small groups, each within its own characteristic types of performance, distinguished by sculptures, costumes, songs, dances, musical instruments, and behavior. So again, they travel with their music instruments. They travel with certain types of sculptures that they have, costumes that they wear, and etc. So, and these things they actually put into the Joan Bone once they're through. They house all of these things for them, the Joel house that I show on another slide. And actually, that concludes my presentation. So, and one, like I said, I could have did a whole presentation. Here is my sources, my references. Here you go through my sources. I don't mind you venting, going through, scrutinizing my sources, but here are my sources. It's where I pulled all of my information from to make this presentation. Um, and the Joel Society, but the Bambara people have a lot of different societies. And again, I could have made 5 presentations just along on their secret societies, but I just wanted to touch on who the Bambara people are, or the Bamana people, who they are, um, where they originated from the Mandinki or the Mandi people. They're also not only in Mali, they are in Guana-Bassong, Guana, and Senegal, as well, and touch on some of their secret societies. And their secret societies, as you look, and if you notice that a lot of the secret societies, because they believe in something called ton. These tons are nothing but different sorts of caste. And again, there are a different sorts of classes. These classes that deal with a certain type of skill set. You deal with some people that may deal with blacksmithing, smiting, metal, and etc. Agriculture, you know what I'm saying? Tilling the land, planting in the soil. Priest, or going through a rite from being an adult, from puberty to becoming an adult and being recognized as society as a man or as a woman. But anyway, just these societies is based on the different castes or different tongues that you may particularly belong to, a musician or griot or etc. You can see exact, especially with the Joel Society, the Koro Society that deals with agriculture, Joel that deal with the musicians and etc. Then you got the Kori, and the other society, the Intomo Society. Then you got the Komo society. So they have a lot of different societies that is based upon the different class or caste system that they have. So that's it, man. Anybody got any questions in the chat? Anybody on the panel got anything, man? I guess that's no. I'll flip through the chat again. A peace to everybody in the chat. Peace to brother Zane Motigo. Peace to sister Trismus. Peace to Chavez. Peace to Marcelo. Peace, brother. Peace, sister Kylie. Sister Kylie said polygamy is good if it's done right. Who else? I said Zane, Sister Juju, Julanda, peace, brother Anthony Richards, peace, LB, peace to my queen, Nanya Mika. She probably done popped on here and then done popped up out here laying down watching a movie. She popped on for a minute. I appreciate her popping on. Though she get everybody, she'll go look at everybody else's video, but she won't look at a king video. That's a shame. Peace again to Ibibo. Peace to Folk Black Righteousness Folk Home. Peace to Lisa. Peace Enigma 9 times 9. Hopefully I didn't peace to New Black Knowledge if you still in here. Peace everything. It's everything. Peace Mikhail, one piece sis. I don't see anything. I'm gonna tell her to get up to Sophie, but I don't see any comments in the chat, and the brothers on the panel, I guess, don't have anything else.
I'm here, Kofi. Based off how you closed out, I forgot I'm not a mod over here on the Mossy, so I couldn't share that link. But do you remember that that trailer I showed you for the documentary I was trying to get my hands on? If you don't mind, could you play that? It's only a minute, but just look at how much.
Yeah, you gave it to me on my phone though. You sent it to me on my phone.
No, it's in your, that one's in your Facebook inbox. I can send it again if you need me to. I tried to put it in the chat just now, but like I said, I'm not a mod, so I don't think it worked over here.
Yeah, you can put it back in there if you want to. Put it back in there.
Give me just a second. But it correlates with some of the things you showed, in particularly the mask and a few other things. But this is why I say it's so important for us to go backwards and study who the Cimarron were.
So while you getting that, man, and I'll put it up in just a second when he put it back in there. But again, go please subscribe to the channels, please go subscribe to the Session Ma'ani Meta Nature group. Me as well as Sean is on the panel. We are members of the Session Ma'ani Meta Nature. We are true scribes. We are scribes that are aspiring to be true scribes. We are studying the language, which is called Irani Kemet, and the writing script, which is called the Sesh Meta Nature. Please go to our website at www.seshumaanimetanature.com, as well as our Facebook, which is Seshumaani Meta Nature. If you want interested in learning the language in Kemet, you can go to the website again, Seshumaani Meta Nature, where you can if you're interested in, it's a book that comes with the class, the beginner's course for the Session Meta Nature. You can also purchase on that. You can get with Saber Wujao as well. Also go subscribe to Kofi Paisa TV. It is the Black Netflix. It is the channel that takes the Black man, Black woman, and Black child Eurocentric mind and Africanize it. It is not only my channel, but it is Vasa Nicolo, Sutex, Ini Haret, T'Challa Bangara. Hope I ain't forgetting nobody else. But it is our channel. Also, go subscribe to Mossy Warrior Clan channel. If you hadn't subscribed, please subscribe. We are a group of like-minded individuals who are pushing West African culture towards the forefront. So a lot of our presentations, we deal particularly with West Africa, but now we are starting to dig into South Africa, Central Africa, as well as East Africa and North Africa. But our specialty is West African culture. So please go subscribe. Please support. Let me pull up real quick, boss. I wanted me to pull up the video. I'm gonna have to stop sharing here. Here, let me see if I can do it from here. I don't know. PowerPoint. Let's see. I make it still share it and do. Let's see. No. I'm gonna just stop sharing. Stop sharing. Give me a second, y'all. Let's go here. Here. Where you put it at? Where you put it at?
I sent it to your personal Facebook messenger.
All right. Did I just thought I clicked on too? Okay. No, it ain't in there. I don't see it, and I'm clicked on to my Facebook Messenger. I don't see it in there.
Let me try to send it to the group then.
I seen something pop up, a notification pop up, but I mean, I'm looking at my own Facebook Messenger. Only thing in there is those shields I sent you, the Mossy, Kofi, and Mossy Warrior Clan from last night.
No, that's your text messages.
No, that's from my Facebook Messenger.
Let me send it to the group.
Hold on. I bet you sent it to Yon. Cause I don't see it in. Hold on, let's go. Hold on. All right, see, it's in here. See, I seen it in there. And y'all go check out what's her name too? Searching for Uhuru. He actually went to while I'm doing that, he actually Amir Dynasty actually went to Mali and visit. Golly, did I? And visit the Bambara people. And then he actually went to see the king in Sagu. So there's two different presentations that he did back in 2016. But if you type in Bamana people or the Bambara people, search for Uhuru, you'll see two videos pop up there. One where they talks about the where he went there and the guy tour showed him around. He talks about the shea butter, how they make the shea butter from this tree, show them the tree that they get the shea butter. They talk about the process that it goes through and used for other different things, as well as actually repairing houses when they mix the shea butter up with um, the mud to put on side of the house to repair the house through the weather condition, as well as the white shea butter as and the yellow shea butter. The two difference, the white shea butter is way better, and how you get the shea butter yellow, how you get the shea butter brown. And I hadn't really went through the one way he talks to the king. I just seen some where he talks to the tour, and the tour guide tells them about the empire, Islam, the Muslims invading them in 1845, 1856, them fighting the Muslims. He talks about the king that I talk about who started the big empire in Sagu. He made Sagu his capital. Hold on, I'm trying to share my screen. Y'all give me a second. All right. Portion screen base. Shoot, man. Hold on, boss, man. Bear with me, man. I'm trying to figure out how to get it on here, man. I see that, but it's not showing my I go back in whiteboard. Let's see. Share sound with the computer. I want it on the presentation. Okay, I think this is it right here. Share screen. All right. Tell me when if y'all can see that. Can y'all see in my screen sharing?
Yeah, now it is. It just started.
All right, let me go back.
Esto del clavo africano se revela, se van a las montañas y ese concepto se conoce como el Simarronay, la búsqueda de la libertad.
That's all of it. But go ahead, boss. You want to elaborate on that, man? You.
Yeah, what I wanted to for y'all to extract from it is how you can see
anything on your computer.
My bad.
You need to get
how you can see a lot of those customs and traditions transferred over here. That's just one place, and y'all got to keep in mind that was just a small snippet of what takes place and what you can see. But you'll find them everywhere, not just in Hispaniola, but Venezuela, Panama, Colombia, throughout Mexico. And then I'll make the connection to show how you can even find them in the Northern Americas and Louisiana, Florida, and Oklahoma. All that's coming soon. But I just thought that was a cool little teaser of what's in store.
Yeah. My microphone still working? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
You can hear me?
Yep.
Okay, because it's got a thing up there, red thing up there, like I can't, like what is it saying? Your speaker is not working. Please check your connections or use a different speaker. Well, okay, it probably did that because I had, when I shared my screen, I shared my speaker to my my thing here. But that's it, man. That's all I have, man. I hope y'all appreciate the presentation. You know what I'm saying? Please tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend, and tell a friend about the presentation, about my sorority clan, about Session Ma Ani Metaneta, about Kofi Paisai TV. Hope to see y'all again real soon, man. And we out, man. Ain't nobody. I'll look in the chat one more time and see if it's anybody got anything in the chat. If not, no questions, man. We'll get on up off of here. Yeah, I'm late. Yeah, you late, the snot ball. The snot ball. You late, man. But yeah, just go back and check it out in the archives, man. Again, appreciate everybody for tuning in. Peace and love to everybody. Peace and love to those that may come back and look at it in the archives a little later. Again, Black African Power. And Shimim Hotep, man. We out.